Finger H! Because we have to point.
At things.
At things. Because we're cool that way.
My fingers are pointing.
May tumunog FB. Sorry.
I think that's mine. So I'm professional.
The great senator does it again. I'm Adrian, and I'm gonna own this Dato of the Geeks.
I'm Val, Geek in Training.
And we are here with Nerd Rage's secret weapon.
Secret weapon.
With our partner, Mr. BJ David.
Hello. Hi everyone.
For those of you guys who might find him very familiar, but not, you might have seen him before at ToyCon around 3 years ago, cosplaying as this guy.
3 years and 20 pounds ago.
Yes.
I don't fit in that shirt anymore.
We are here to talk about the movie of the weekend.
Spider-Man Homecoming! Baliktad! Take two!
It's
Spider-Man Homecoming!
But that's Ultimate Spider-Man. That's okay, you know.
Okay, that's better.
But the movies are based on the Ultimate Movie universe anyway, so that's fine.
So how do you guys find it? I saw it only yesterday. I wasn't able to see it on opening night, unlike most of you guys out there. When did you see it?
I saw it kanina lang. Which is Sunday.
Well, which is good because at least it's fresh in your head
I
right
know,
now, right?
and my feelings are
I
fresh.
saw it Friday night, actually. I saw it Friday night. And I enjoyed it, but I do have some issues with it. I know that a lot of people are hailing it as the best Spider-Man movie. And I kind of beg to disagree. It's not a bad movie. It's just not the best Spider-Man movie for me.
But I love it.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
so how did you find it? You're the person who saw it the latest. All right.
It's the freshest.
It's the
You have the freshest memory right now.
I am the freshest.
Alright.
To answer your question, since I'm the person kasi that doesn't have any comic background on Spider-Man, aside from my childhood memories that part of it are made up. So, I really found it fun. One, because he was a kid. For me, it was Spider-Man who was the fun superhero when I was growing up, because I had, X-Men and everyone was so serious. And Spider-Man. So, I really found it refreshing that he looked the part because he was small, and that he really acted like a high school student. With Tobey, he didn't look like a high school student.
Well, Tobey Maguire's run wasn't really the best. Tobey Maguire run wasn't really set in the high school days of Peter Parker anyway. It was already when he was working in New York.
Yeah.
But
they for the first one they had a graduation.
Yes, they did. But the best bits of the Tobey Maguire was
sa bagay. But then
what did you think of the film?
It was nice. It was, I think it looked very Marvel. I think it means something, but Marvel has a distinct edit kasi na I noticed lang with Spider-Man, given the many reboots. Mm-hmm. So, it looked very different from the first two franchises of the same title.
Of course, it's part of the MCU, so
yeah.
it should have that Marvel grain, which is not necessarily a good thing, but it's not necessarily a bad thing either.
The Marvel trademark is, something that Joss Whedon really made popular, which is the use of
Bathos. And I think they just used it a little too much for this movie. I mean, I get that this movie was really made for kids. You can tell that this from the comparing it to the previous Marvel movies, this one is really aimed at kids. They're expecting children to watch this, and that's understandable. But the use of Bathos, which really undercut some of the more dramatic moments, and that's the one thing that I really liked about Spider-Man, is because Spider-Man is one of the most human heroes that we have. If we're going to compare it to DC, he's actually more human than Batman, so to speak, because Batman's a rich guy. Bruce Wayne's a rich guy. And not everyone can relate to him, but everyone went through high school. Everyone tried to fit in through high school, and that's Peter Parker.
But that's one thing that really struck me about the film. When I saw it, a lot of those things that were shown in the film happened to me. Well, for example, being bullied by the valedictorian. Yes, I'm talking about you. Yeah. This time they showed Flash Thompson as an intelligent bully, not like a the
he's not a
sports
jock.
not
Well,
the
he's
dumb
technically
jock.
a jock because he's part of the quizzing team of the mental decathletes team. But
That's true. He was a science jock,
He was a science jock.
and he was an intellectual bully.
Yes.
I was actually asking my wife yesterday when we were watching this. My wife studied in Pisay, Philippine Science High School. So I was asking her, did these types of guys exist in your school? Apparently they did, but she never really interacted with them. In science high schools, you're all geniuses. You're all intelligent people. So your varying levels of intelligence, it's basically like being in Hogwarts for scientists. So again, you have the best of the best there. And apparently Flash Thompson was one of those intellectual jocks.
So he's always being beaten by Parker. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the thing in the film because he was the reserve.
Yeah, he's the reserve. Like, he's wishing that Peter would go away so that so I can be in the mental decathletes, blah blah blah.
But of course, I'm treating this as on a very personal level. So just looking at the film on its own,
on its own merits.
I enjoyed it. It was fun. Yeah,
definitely.
It was in for kids. I'm a kid at heart, so it's fine. But I totally understand what you said about the film having too much bathos.
Yes.
There's this one scene. Spoiler alert. There's this very serious scene after Peter Parker talked to the Vulture.
Yes, you spoke
Because
with
again, spoiler alert, the Vulture is revealed as Liz's dad. Liz is Peter's love interest in the film.
It's not MJ tonight.
Yeah. And this was at the prom, and of course, the Vulture had to give him the dad talk.
Yeah.
On prom night.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's again something guys
That
could
would
relate
really
to.
happen.
Everyone could relate.
Yeah.
He's a very relatable hero.
Yeah, it was a very serious thing. How could Peter deal with that? Syempre, di ba? He gets off the car, walks to the prom, and it was shown that he was processing all these things. And then that bathos moment happened when MJ did that.
Yeah.
MJ, spoiler alert. Michelle, played by Zendaya, that Disney kid is eventually revealed as MJ. Of course, we're not sure if she's Mary Jane Watson.
It's just MJ. Her name's just MJ.
But it would make sense though. It would make her character more interesting than the wimpy version of Kirsten because she grew up in...
That's true.
Diba? Kasi she had all that angst. And you'd see it because she grew up in a... I don't know. She grew up with a
bad family. Definitely.
Exactly. So you'd really see
Sam
it,
Raimi
diba?
movies.
And it's a more interesting character besides the fact that she can draw well.
I couldn't imagine her as a fashion model like she was in the comics.
Yeah.
But well, people were kids once. A lot of models used to be awkward teenagers. So maybe we will see her as a model in a potential sequel.
Although going back to that again, that bathos moment, then when Peter was processing it, oh my God, Liz's dad is the Vulture, goes into the prom and then sees Ned and Michelle, and then Michelle flips the bird, and again, it just took away a lot of the drama and the gravitas of the scene.
Exactly.
And it happens a lot in this movie. Well, it's not just in this movie. Let's just go back to Val's point about it being in the same grain as the entire MCU.
Yeah.
The MCU does that a lot because of Joss Whedon. When Joss Whedon was involved, and Joss Whedon is the king of bathos in movies, to the point that I actually call it Whedoning sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and it happens a lot in the MCU. So it just really spilled over into every single movie. I mean, in Civil War, in Winter Soldier, we didn't see much of that.
Yeah.
But Winter Soldier was an amazing movie. It was one of the best, I would say, in the MCU. And it didn't rely on that. But all of the other movies, because they were trying to be entertaining and fun, which, to their credit, they are doing very well. But they just have to pay that cost that it takes away from a lot of the drama. A lot of the relevant scenes become trivialized, and it just really made Spider-Man: Homecoming. I wouldn't say terrible, but it disappointed me in a sense. I was having fun. It's a great movie, but it could have been better if the drama wasn't. If they were honest about the drama, because it's okay if it's like if a singer was always singing the high notes, it would get boring. It would be nice to have fun drama, and they do that. But again, the bathos kind of takes the fun too much out of the scale.
After all, when you're immersed in the story,
Yes.
you're really meant to feel that part of the story. So when bathos happens, just takes you away from it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's funny and you laugh at it. Like it happened to me when I saw that scene when she flipped the bird. It's like wait, this is a heavy scene.
Then you forgot about what Peter was processing, what Peter was going through.
Yeah, things. And I think Patty Jenkins mentioned this in one of her interviews when she was being interviewed for Wonder Woman. She brought earnestness and sincerity to Wonder Woman. That's why I guess Wonder Woman worked in that regard, despite it being an imperfect film. Spider-Man: Homecoming is, for all intents and purposes, a good, entertaining film, but it had those little moments of bathos that just ruined it.
We might as well, touch on some of the throwaway scenes that, think were unnecessary, didn't really help the story. I mean, this movie was more than 2 hours long.
Right.
And I believe that probably it could have been cut by 15 minutes because of so many throwaway scenes, like, MJ's snarkiness, Michelle's snarkiness sometimes, the snarky scenes of Michelle,
Which was the ones in detention?
Yeah, in detention. They weren't really necessary.
Yeah,
they could have lived without the movie. The movie could have lived without it. And oh my god, we already put out a spoiler warning, right? Oh, the appearance of Pepper Potts. What was that?
It was super cool.
It was cool, but did it help the plot? No, it was just oh great, Pepper Potts is here, and because they could have ended the scene when Tony was talking to Peter about joining the Avengers, and then Peter declines. They could have cut it right there, that he was walking away, cut it right there, showed Peter going on about his day. But no. In comes Pepper Potts, Gwyneth Paltrow, and adds another scene that doesn't contribute to anything.
It adds to the fact that, it's the funny factor, because Peter goes like, this is a test, right? There's no media in the room, and then Tony goes, yeah, there's a test, and then he walks away. But apparently it's not a test. There are actually media in the room, and they actually didn't do what they were supposed to do.
But again, it didn't help the plot.
But it was funny.
Well, actually, it would have worked if it wasn't Pepper Potts who opened the door.
Exactly.
It could have been a random bodyguard, and the scene would have still worked.
As a bagay.
The montage was great.
Yeah.
Of course. Montage.
You know what I liked about the film? It felt like a John Hughes movie.
I have to agree. And I think they were not denying that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that little Easter egg that they had while Peter was chasing the van, and he skimmed through someone's pool.
Right.
And then they were showing Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
And he just said, great movie.
Right.
And that's an Easter egg. I mean, it might be another throwaway scene, but it's an Easter egg, so it doesn't count.
But speaking of Ferris Bueller, you know what? If Spider-Man was actually made in the 80s, Matthew Broderick was made for a very good Peter Parker. Matthew Broderick. Can you imagine that?
Really?
Yeah.
Back to the Future guy?
No.
Not him.
Matthew Broderick.
Ferris
Bueller.
Back to the Future guy is Michael J. Fox.
Oh!
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah. That guy.
Although Michael J. Fox wouldn't be a bad idea too. But
I
still.
don't know. Michael J. Fox is going to be... If it was done in the 80s and Michael J. Fox did the first Peter Parker, he would be the Tobey Maguire. And then they would have to reboot it all over again until they get to the Tom Holland who is Matthew Broderick. If
point,
it was
good
happened, if it
Yeah.
was produced in the 80s.
Yeah.
Speaking of Easter eggs, I don't know if you guys treat it as Easter eggs, but for me it is. Michael Keaton being there. Well, because he's Batman for me. He's my Batman. And he's in a Marvel movie as someone completely different. But then the Easter egg factor of it for me was when Spider-Man uses the Batman voice.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Batman's there!
I missed that. Why did I?
Dude, come on. Every time you fake a voice,
It's Batman.
it's a Batman voice.
Yeah.
Don't you agree, guys? Like, what's the
true.
name? I need your car. What?
Well, kudos to Christopher Nolan. He made those things make sense.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna be a superhero with a mask, you might as well hide your voice.
Yeah. That's
And see, because he was Batman, he knew it. Nah, it was Peter Parker because he was familiar with the voice.
Right. I thought you were gonna mention the fact that he figured out who Peter's identity was.
who Spider-Man's
No.
identity was.
Yeah.
That's in my head lang.
Because
Parang
he's Batman.
He knew it because he was Batman and he uses a different voice when he's wearing that.
Yeah, and there's this one shot of the vulture flying in the sky.
I know,
yes.
in the moon!
Yes.
Wait. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna date this video. Today is July
Today is July 9.
9. If you saw the moon on this date, it's the same as the moon in the movie. It's a full
huge.
moon today.
It's huge.
Full moon.
It's a huge moon today.
And yes, that was a Batman reference when Vulture flew over the moon.
Although it's speaking of since we're Easter egg spotting, I don't know if this is unintentional thing, but remember when Peter was walking in first time we saw Peter walking the halls of his high school, and I saw a girl with white hair, and
Yeah, who was that girl?
and I was like, is that Felicia Hardy?
Yeah.
Although
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
it's probably not, but I'm like being, knowing some of the Spider-Man mythos,
Black
Black
Cat.
Cat. Probably not, but I was just entertained that there's a white-haired girl running around in Peter's high school.
By the way, apologies to our intern Emil, who's behind the camera right now. He hasn't seen the film.
And now it seems like he has.
Yeah. So he's currently wearing
Headphones,
earplugs.
yes. He's just looking at us
And
without
playing
any sound, so
music.
we're doing this basically. Boo. We only touched on it, but let's go more in depth about the portrayal of every character, especially Peter Parker. I really think that despite my feelings about the movie not being the greatest, the best Spider-Man movie, it's the second best because I still love Spider-Man 2.
And emo Toby.
No, that's Spider-Man 3.
Still the same Toby.
Still the same Toby though, but he is the best Peter Parker. The fact that they
And we're all wearing black, so that doesn't help you.
the fact that they chose again the 15-year-old Peter Parker, it really worked well because and they didn't have to go through his origin story.
Yeah.
He's really acting like a kid. I mean, at first I was like, wait, he's already been with the Avengers. He should be able to handle himself now. He should be mature in making his decisions. But then I get reminded that he's a 15-year-old kid because in those scenes, because most of the scenes really depict him as just struggling through high school. So I get reminded that he's still a 15-year-old kid. He still doesn't know what he's doing. At least for the most part, he doesn't know what he's doing. They're portraying this Peter as just someone who's, taking a while to fit into the suit.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
I have this thing in movies where I spot the annoying kids.
Yes.
The kids that actually get you in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Apparently Peter Parker is one of them. Like, you're an annoying kid. Why do you have your own movie? A ferry ride? He was the reason why I got cut in half.
Well, that's exactly it. It shows that he's an immature kid who's still, again, trying to fit into the suit. He's not yet strategically sound. I mean, he knows what he can do, but he just doesn't know what to do with them.
We were 15 once.
Yes, we were 15.
We were all clueless 15-year-olds.
Okay.
Which is why, again, I felt the same way at the first part of the movie. But as they showed it, as Tom Holland expertly portrayed him, I understood because Tom Holland just really, showed us that I'm a kid, and was simply having fun. Exactly it. He was having fun being Spider-Man. That he wasn't thinking of the consequences.
Exactly.
And that's exactly how he portrayed it.
Because he was still on a post-Civil War high.
Yes.
He was a kid.
Yeah.
He was 14 at the time. And he got to face off against Captain America.
The rest of the Avengers.
Yeah.
So
I
he would be feeling so high. He would be feeling on top of the world. That's why he was so antsy, always calling happy and everything.
Yeah. Actually, I like the part that it picked up from there.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a scene that's included actually in the universe.
Yeah. And he's just really perfect. He's the perfect Peter Parker.
It was just really perfect.
Well, not necessarily the perfect Spider-Man. You could still argue about that, but he is the perfect Peter Parker.
Your shirt says a lot about
Yes,
the film.
absolutely.
Do you guys think that Tony Stark stole the show from Peter Parker?
I actually didn't think so.
Yeah. I
Tony's
think
presence
so.
there was actually... Well, I like the parts where he was there mentoring Peter. But again, there were throwaway scenes. Like him trying to be funny. I found it not necessary. Again, it's there for the fun factor. I get it. But it wasn't necessary.
Sige, Vulture.
Let's talk about first how the movie portrayed the Vulture. Because he's a member of the Sinister Six, for those of you who read the comics. And I always thought of the Vulture in the comics as a very one-dimensional character. He was like
Most of Spider-Man's villains.
most of Spider-Man's rogues gallery is like, I'm evil because I'm evil, right? That's how they are.
I have 8 arms. I am evil.
Yes, exactly.
I'm green and I'm evil.
But the movies did a good job of humanizing them, and I think they did the best job with the Vulture.
Yeah, because he's a dad.
He's
explaining it that he's doing it because he has a family.
He's a working man. He is the most relatable villain. Because he became a villain because, hey, look, I have a growing business, and then something happens, where Stark money starts rolling in, and he pretty much had to turn to his villainous ways to be able to make a buck and get rich.
Alam mo, that's one thing pa na I don't get. Bakit ang flimsy ng web ng Spider-Man?
Because he was still developing it.
The formula.
Yeah. Remember, it was shown in the chemistry class that he was developing web fluid 3.0.
So the point of Tobey Maguire's discussion na parang, di ba, they did that whole the spider has the strongest web thingy. The very first Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that's because his biological.
What I also liked about the movie pala is para siyang si Karen, yeah.
Voiced by Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah.
The wife of
Paul Bettany.
Who plays
Vision.
People were complaining, why wasn't there any Spider-Sense portrayed in the film? I think they showed Spider-Sense in action. Because he had quick reflexes, could move around. You need Spider-Sense to move like Spider-Man. So I think this is the first time they didn't
highlight it. They just didn't highlight it, but it's there. But I don't know. I don't know if I've read it somewhere, but I think they really took it out, and the suit was really the one that's providing the Spider-Sense. But I guess it will be clarified in the future movies.
Yeah, wait. Kevin Feige already clarified that Spider-Sense existed.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Is this the same as the phone booth for Superman?
What?
So it's really true that Spider-Man says, my spider sense is tingling.
In the
comics.
In the comics.
My
spider sense is tingling.
My non-nerd sense is tingling very hard. That didn't sound right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I guess the last thing that we can mention is that one of the characters that really stole the show was Ned, who's Peter's best friend.
First of his name. GOT's coming out soon.
Ned, who was played by what's his name? Jacob Batalon. How do you pronounce his surname?
Batalon.
Jacob
Filipino?
Batalon. Yes,
depends on where you live.
He's Filipino.
Yes,
Okay,
he's
that's
Filipino.
gonna be in our headlines for a long time.
Yeah, it has been.
Pinoy pride.
Hashtag Pinoy Pride. Anyway, he's to me one of the best friends on screen, to be honest, and he just really stole the show. He's the perfect buddy for Peter Parker to be able to be. He's the perfect support system for
the
Peter.
guy in the chair.
He's the guy in the chair.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he is, the guy in the chair for Peter
Literal
Parker.
a guy
But
in a chair.
I've read some articles that said that casting him was just highlighted racial issues in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Because he played the stereotypical Asian sidekick.
Okay, if you wanna go stereotype, an Asian character is usually played by chinky-eyed Asians. And he did not look like your usual chinky-eyed Asian.
Was he portrayed in a stereotypical Asian way? No.
No.
He was portrayed as the best friend.
Exactly.
He could have been Indian, he could have been Chinese, he could have been Russian, but he just was Ned.
Right.
But
So, in a sense, his race didn't matter. He was just
that's the
a
thing
human
also.
being.
I think that's the
So
thing
there's no
also
issue.
with how the characters in the school was played out. It
Yeah.
was very inclusive.
Very inclusive and diverse, and it didn't really matter what the hell their race was.
They're all kids, exactly.
Yeah.
Before we wrap this up, I'd just like to point out that Ned really reminds me of the Power Ranger Chris Cantada. Really.
What? Why?
He just there's something about how Ned's facial expressions were shown. At least younger Chris
Chris
Cantada.
Cantada.
Pre-Sponge Cola Chris Cantada. Shout out to Chris. Hi guys. Hi
Chris.
you. Hi Chris. Right, so let's rate the film. All
Okay.
right. DJ?
I give it 4 out of 5 web grenades.
How about you, Val?
5 out of 5 because I like it.
Right. I rated 4.5 out of 5 web grenades.
We have half scores? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Half web grenade.
Half a web grenade?
Yeah. It's there and then you caught it.
Well, I'm still gonna give it a 4 anyway because, again, pales... I wouldn't say pales in comparison, but I would say that it still falls short of my favorite among the Spider-Man movies, which is Spider-Man 2, which is a great Spider-Man movie and a great movie in general, a great superhero movie in general. But, still a fun movie, still a great movie, so go watch it.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Close kayo. Hi, Tom.
Okay.
So, thank you very much, DJ, for those very, very interesting thoughts.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't seen Spider-Man Homecoming,
You should watch it.
Watch it and keep it locked in.
Only here at Nerd
Nerd
Rage.
Rage.
Let's
You
do
have
that
to
again.
point somewhere
Yeah,
else,
let's
no?
point. Nerd Rage.
Wait,
Nerd.
1, 2, 3.
Nerd Rage!